everyone, welcome to another episode of Raw Radiant Health, and I'm Natasha. Thank you so much for joining me. So, today I'm going to talk about my diet. I've been asked quite a bit. I'm always asked, what do I eat, right? Because I'm 100% raw vegan, as most of you know, and if anyone knows my diet, then they're just kind of like, if it's a stranger or someone I know, or just anyone new to the raw foods, people are always really curious to know exactly what do I eat in a day. And people want to know too, like, what works, because I think everyone just, deep down inside, like, everyone wants to feel their best. And I feel great that everyone wants to know, like, okay, well, what is she doing to make her feel so great? And one thing I have to say, though, that I've noticed is that what I might be doing might be great for me, but it might not be great for another person. We're all different, okay? I don't believe in like one size fits all with the diet. I just don't. We all live different parts of the world. We're all at different ages, different medical histories, different level of activity, different stress. Some of us live in the country, some of us live in the city, some of us live northern hemisphere, southern hemisphere. I mean, there's a lot of things that can determine what you're going to be eating and what's going to work for you and what's not. So I don't feel that one size fits all, and I feel that people can figure that out on their own. It's just about being in tune with how your body's reacting to the food you're eating. And sometimes too, it's great to work with a coach like me, or with even like a healthcare practitioner to figure out what would be the best thing for you, and to also help you, give you signs and signals that let you know as to if a food's working for you or if it's not. So pretty much with my diet is, I actually put it on my blog every day. Every single day I list everything I eat. Past 8 days I haven't, because I've been on a juice feast. But before that, if you look in the archives on my blog, you will see every day what I'm eating. And in the beginning I was listing everything, but I was only putting the quantities of the fruit. And the reason why I was doing that was because pretty much I eat a high fruit diet. I eat a very low fat diet. I have 2 pounds of greens a day. That's for me the goal. That's like the center of my diet, is the greens. And 2 pounds of greens would be equivalent to two heads of lettuce, 2 boxes of mixed greens or spinach, or 2 bunches of kale. So 1 bunch is 1 pound. So I eat a minimum 2 of those a day, sometimes more. And sometimes even less, but normally it's at 2. That's usually my focus of my diet. That's where I'm getting the bulk of my protein and my minerals, my vitamins, and my nutrition pretty much. And then the fruit, I get a lot of vitamins and antioxidants, things like that from it. But my fruit, I'm mostly getting the calories from, and the water and the fiber as well. And when it comes down to fat, I have a very low fat diet. And one thing though recently was, someone had asked me to actually indicate how much greens I'm eating and put the quantity down on my blog. So I've been doing that as well. So, and the reason why I've put the quantities of the fruit and the greens is because I coach people with their diets. Not necessarily to go on like 100% full-on diet, raw vegan diet, but I coach people to improve their diets and add more whole foods into their diet. And it really helps them to see what I'm eating every day, because then they get it. Then they're like, oh, okay, it's all right to eat more than 2 oranges. Or that they can eat not a little salad, but like a mega salad. And that I don't just have 1 little cup of green smoothie, but I actually drink like maybe a half a liter to a full liter a day. So it really helps when people get to see the quantities, that then they get it. Then they're like, okay, she's not starving, and she's definitely eating a lot. So and there's no deprivation, and they feel better. And especially too, because a lot of times when people get onto raw foods, they feel like they're maybe overeating or things like that, and then to know that other people actually eat those kind of quantities, then it's like, oh, okay, you know, there's less calories in a little piece of fruit. So by having like 4 apples in one sitting, that's not a big deal. That's nothing. It's all good. So I list everything I eat every day to help sort of just give people like a little bit of an understanding as to what someone typically do in a day or even in a week. And so with my diet though, I do eat a very, very low fat diet. And there's many reasons behind it, and that's why I say like what I do is different than what other people do, because I'm different, my lifestyle is different, right? I exercise every day. I do cardiovascular exercise. I go bike riding for 2.5 hours usually every day, or I run from 1 to 2 hours a day. So I need my calories. That, and also I don't do well on fats. Never have. I have an allergy, think, to avocado. If I have more than like 1/4 of avocado, my gums, they start swelling up and burn. It hurts. And my whole nasal cavity and throat becomes congested. This all happens like within 20 minutes of eating more than, if I have like a half an avocado, I'm in pain. And I've been noticing it happening as well with olive oil, which, you know, I don't have olive oil very often, and when I do, I don't feel good. So I've had to keep that at the minimum. So that's one reason why my diet is more fruit than the fats. I don't do well so much with nuts either. I've always had a very sensitive digestive system, and no matter how much I soak and sprout and do things with the nuts, I don't do well in them. I do good though on seeds. So I do put seeds into my smoothies, and that helps me, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be having like hardly any fat at all. So it is very low, but also too, one thing to consider with me as an individual, as an example, I was born with a heart defect. I had open heart surgery when I was 5.5 years old. My entire life, I've always had a very low fat diet, and that's just been intuitive. Like, I was a very picky eater, that I never even had pizza until I was in university. Okay, like I hated anything fried, I hated cheese, I stopped eating meat when I was 12 years old. Like, you know, it just didn't resonate well with me. So what I've noticed also with people that I work with is I've noticed that people that come from like a heavy meat diet, or a lot of fish and a lot of like a high protein, eggs and foods like that, they tend to eat more nuts and seeds and avocado. And then the people that come from like a vegan or a vegetarian diet, that diet is more of a high carbohydrate diet, they tend to come into raw vegan eating a high fruit diet. So right there you kind of see that people, like what worked with them with the cooked and where they're getting their calories from, they usually bring it into the raw. So that's one thing to also be aware, that like if you're used to having like a heavier and calorie dense meals, and not a very big meal but very kind of small little piece of meat and a little bit of vegetable with it, you're gonna maybe find yourself eating, you know, some sort of nut-based or seed-based meal with your vegetables. And that's just something I've noticed. I've noticed that quite a bit, that people, you know, go with what they're used to and what works for them. And that's the main thing that I'm just stressing to everyone, is that my diet will be different than someone else's. And the main thing is you have to listen to what works with you. What makes you feel good, what gives you energy, what gives you a clear mind, what gives you a balanced mood, when you eat a meal, do you feel like going and running and having a good time, or do you want to go to bed? These things are going to indicate to you if what you're eating, what you're doing is right or if it's wrong. And so that's it. So I am wishing you guys a fabulous, fabulous day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye!